Hey, hey, hey. What is happening? It's your girl, Michelle M. Trey Hollis here. 5 Star Conversations in the Sun City. Now, I was going to be joined by a wonderful, incredible expert, a passionate woman who is a an insurance expert. She is incredible. Her name's Erika Ozuna, and she we are going to have to reschedule, which is completely fine. Things like this happen, especially when it comes to when you're in healthcare, and that's something I've learned in this space as well. I've learned that because I've been doing interviews and interviewing experts and people for a very long time, for years now. And one thing I've noticed since I've really transitioned into the healthcare space is that, you're dealing with people that are dealing with people's lives. And so you do get to be quite a bit more flexible. But I want you all to know a little bit. I figured I would still come on because there are some important things to discuss, especially here in the Sun City, and about how, just everything, just how people are running things in this city. Okay. And so the title of this talk was going to be Your Health Coverage Should Not Feel Like a Guessing Game. And that's very true. And I also just believe that, community involvement, community engagement, success, none of those things should feel like a guessing game. I also truly believe that being responsible for your family, being a responsible adult, period, and being responsible for your family, being responsible for your team, being responsible for your community should not be a guessing game at all. So I thought that I had a great conversation with her, and I'm so glad that I met her. I actually met her through a registered nurse that I had met at a League of Business event, whom I love. I love the League of Business in Arlette. And so I had met him, and then he introduced me to Erika. And Erika is someone who understands the healthcare space very well, the El Paso healthcare space very well in particular. And, if you are, it doesn't matter where you are, but being that this is 5 Star Conversations in the Sun City, I'm going to hit and I'm going to speak into the healthcare space because we need to be prepared. Don't be scared, be prepared. My goal for 5 Star Conversations in the Sun City and this community that I'm creating is to have resources for patient and caregiver empowerment. My goal is to amplify the voice of healthcare. And that's mental health care, physical, spiritual healthcare, financial healthcare, the whole bit. Because we are holistic beings. And although, yes, I am a professional, I am an entrepreneur, of a very new one, an ideation stage one. But things are moving for me for the opportunities that I see to support people. And one thing that really, the reason that I decided to land on healthcare. So I decided that, even though Erika can't be on today, unfortunately, but don't worry, we're going to reschedule in a couple of weeks. So no problem. But I thought I would take this time to explain to you why I decided to choose healthcare and to focus on patient and caregiver empowerment. It's because there's for the emotional reasons, it's because I realize how many people, and especially when you live in a very cultured place like El Paso, we really care about our families. We many times put our families first in a lot of ways. And that is beautiful. However, the reason I decided to choose healthcare is because what I found after working at a home healthcare agency last year for a year is that the healthcare situation is far more scary than anyone could possibly imagine. Like however scary that you think all the stuff is happening with Medicare, Medicaid, with these insurance companies, and them not paying premium, however bad that you can imagine it to be, because maybe you haven't had to deal with any of these situations yet. However bad that you think it could be, it's like 100 times worse than it's ever been. You used to be able to depend on some sort of care. But as we are aging, people my age, and I just turned 45 on Sunday, but as we are aging, the support that we can depend on is fleeting fast. So there's already that. Now, when you add on top of that you're going to have aging family members at some point, unless God rest their soul in peace, they've already, ascended to the next episode, if you will. If they're here, they are going to age. We all know that we all have a finite time on this earth. And it's important for us more than ever to take care of ourselves. Because if you have a heart and you love your family, you are going to want to make sure that they are well taken care of. You're going to want to make sure that you're able to be there for them in as much of a capacity as you can. And that being the case, you need to be prepared. Trust me, you do not want to wait until it's too late to start thinking about who you want to be affiliated with, like who you want as your physician and your family's physician, your kids and your parents. You want to know these people. Now, I'm not saying you got to go to dinner with them and stuff like that, but you don't just want to go with whoever you throw the dart at in the phone book or in your insurance. That's, that takes your insurance. That's how we do things. And that's not a good plan. Also, we don't want to wait until we get sick to start trying to get better. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. We don't want to wait until we get sick to start taking the steps to try to be our healthiest and our best selves. We want to do that now. You want to do that now. And the only way to do that now is to do your research now. So that's why I created 5-Star Conversations in the Sun City, because I began to ask myself, who in community can I trust? What medical experts, what health and wellness practitioners truly on a deep level care about giving the best care to their patients, care about whoever's coming to them for help in whatever capacity, who really cares about the outcomes, about positive outcomes for people. Like, in whatever you're doing, whatever you're selling, whatever you're creating, who cares about the actual people in the community? That's what I care about. Because, maybe not everybody, if you have not lost a parent before, if you've not had to have your family member on basically life support in your household and seen them withering away and come home every day, go to work, get stressed out, and then come home and there's no, you don't get to relax because you get to remember that you're concerned about your family member who's sick. You don't understand that every day is precious. If you're someone who has lost a family member, life hits different. And so for me, I had that situation over and over and over in my life. Started with my maternal grandmother here in my home when I was in high school. Then it was my dad, my grandmother. I have an uncle who I was supposed to give a kidney to, and that didn't end up working out, and that was devastating. But I wanted to try. And even that was hard to navigate because I wasn't really sure I wanted to try. I'm just, being honest, but, I wish I could have, at first I felt kind of backed into it. I'm just being honest. But at the same time, like, that's my family. Like, if you haven't met with these situations in your family, get ready. It's going to happen at some point, It'll happen to more people than it won't happen to. And so the reason I started 5-Star Conversations in the Sun City is because I want a safe space for people to know that you're not alone as a caregiver. That if you're that person in your family who is a giver and you are the person that people come to support them in those moments. And if you expect that you'll be the one who'll be taking care of your family, I want to make sure that I create this community so that you can take care of yourself too. Okay, so we're on Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, and YouTube Live right now. I'm live streaming. And this conversation is important for everyone. Because I feel like in the world that we live in, it's so easy to get hit with something hard. And then you're just, we're consuming things all the time. We're consuming social media. It's easy to feel like, woe is me. Oh no, this, like, I've got to take care of my parents. I've got kids now. I've got to take care of my parents. It's easy to forget about yourself and your own self-care. It's easy to feel alone when something that is very obvious to me, and it actually helped to show me that I'm on the right path of my calling, because I love people and I love to help people. I really do. And my service is best utilized to people who need help and will appreciate it, not just people who not just people who need a hype man. I don't want to serve people who just need a hype man. I'd rather serve people that actually need help. And to go another level, and what I'm really doing here with 5-Star Conversations in the Sun City is that I'm supporting caregivers, whether they're family caregivers or health medical practitioners. I want to support them in taking care of themselves. And I want to support the right businesses and practices who really care about giving quality, compassionate service and who make that their goal, not to look good, not to be outside everywhere, but to really care about not only that their patients and their customers thrive, but that their employees have growth too. That's important. And it's especially important in healthcare because healthcare is a very intense business to be a part of. It's an extremely intense because you're dealing with people's lives, like if you're working at a restaurant, I work at a restaurant. And I mean, outside of like allergies and stuff like that, I'm like, if I make a mistake, it's not people's lives, like I say that, even though, I mean, trust me, I still have a high quality, like I have a high desire for excellent service, and I do care when I make mistakes. So I don't like to make them and don't make them often. I'm just going to be real. But when it comes to healthcare, it's just people's lives. I want to support any company, any practitioner, any agency who puts quality care at the forefront of everything they do and who refuses to do the bare minimum. Those are the only people I want to work with in life at this stage of my life. So I'm doing a couple of really interesting things, so I thought I would share. I'm taking a clinical research coordinator certification with the MCA. I love the Medical Center of the Americas. We do the 1 million cups there, which I love me some 1 million cups. And we're doing, and they offer so many opportunities for biotech, healthcare, advancing healthcare in our region. And so one of the things that they have been offered is a clinical research coordinator certification. Absolutely free. They said this is the last cohort that it's going to be free. And so I'm happy I slid right in. Why did I decide to do that when I'm already doing a million other things? Well, it's in alignment with my goal, which is to support and elevate and amplify the voice of healthcare in the borderland through patient and caregiver empowerment. I think that, by supporting with clinical trials, I love science. I think it's cool. It's interesting. I'm loving the course, and it will give me an opportunity to move in those spaces, shall I choose. Another certification I'm taking is peer recovery specialist. And so peer recovery specialist is someone with lived experience of substance abuse, alcohol or substance abuse, who is in recovery and gets to walk alongside other people that are seeking to be in recovery from alcohol and substance abuse, which I'm so excited about that. And I just did the first leg of that certification this weekend, and I absolutely love it. Now, here's the thing. I don't do drugs. I do have a drink every here and there. And like literally every here and there, it was my birthday on Sunday. I haven't drank in like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like I just don't drink anymore. I actually enjoy the excitement of getting up in the morning and having all this cool stuff to do. And I don't like feeling like junk. So, I mean, that's a big change for me. And what I realized is that, so when I realized that there was a certification I could get to help people through that, and that, that's an option, I'm like, yeah, that is in alignment with 5-Star Conversations and with me, because I want to support people in these ways. I want to support people to make wise decisions with their body, with their mind, their spirit, their soul, especially their spirit, and to liberate themselves. And I believe that if we take care of our own personal health, When we take care of our own personal health and we put that at the forefront, and not the illusion of success, but I mean true, deep and real joy and success. When we make that our number one focus, then everyone wins. Everyone wins. It's not that we're going to be perfect all the time, but when we make that healthy choice, the most healthy choice that we can make for ourselves and our situation, the most respectful thing that we can do for ourselves, for our team, for our family, whenever we choose the most respectful choice, everybody wins. And so for me using my platform and creating this platform, which, by the way, I just was informed that I just won my first award for my platform, and I'll talk about that later. But that was really validating to me, and I'm so grateful for that, because I know what I'm doing is important. And I also know that this issue and these realities are not going anywhere. Like, we're only going to keep getting older. Our parents are only going to keep getting older. Our children are only going to keep getting older. And we're in a state of emergency when it comes to social services, including healthcare. So what I've come to understand is that being healthy is one of the best skills that you can learn. And being solid in who you are and putting that first for yourself is very important. And it helps you to have peace of mind when you take care of yourself and when you take care of your family. If that's, I understand not everybody's cool with their family. So if that's not you, then I hope that you understand that still take care of yourself. And I would hope that we can create a community even for you. If you don't have family, you should be able to still have community places where you can feel included and you can still grow and create a community for yourself. Like, we should have that. We should have that here in El Paso. We should have that here in this region. And if something does happen to you, you should feel confident that you have a community to support you. I mean, because healthcare does not pay for everything. And we need to understand that. Like, people think that if something happens to them, that Medicare is just going to pay for it. Like, that's kind of what people think, or that their insurance is going to cover it. When was the last time you really asked the right questions for your health insurance? That's why I was going to have Erika here. That's why I talked to Pereira Financial, which I love them, because I want us to open these conversations of responsibility. Okay. And some of y'all may be watching this and going, I already have it all together. Like, don't most people? No, most people don't. So you want to get your will and testament done. I'm going to get one. I don't even have kids. I don't have kids, and I have life insurance. Why? Because I don't want that burden on my mom and my family. God forbid something happened to me. I want them to be able to take care of my services and stuff without it bankrupting them. Like, that's the kind of world we live in today, guys. We can't take these things for granted. And so, that's the healthcare side of things. And then the truth is, and this is where El Paso, may not, people may not want to hear this, but you can't meditate your way or healthcare your way out of toxic work environments, out of toxic environments, period. If you can't feed your family because you're an artist and nobody wants to pay you, but everybody wants you to come perform for them, that's a problem. And it's a big problem in El Paso, bro. You know, it's true and it's not right. And, you know, we've got to change the way that we treat our talent, because how can we expect them to be healthy, wealthy, and wise when everybody wants all the artists, and not just artists either, but I mean, you know, people want free labor and they're patting their pockets. I'm sorry, but that's a problem. And it's a healthcare issue. It's a mental health issue and it's a physical health issue. And it's an important one that needs to be addressed in our region. It's just true. It's simply true. But for now, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. Where I will go. Right now, it's important for me, for my own financial stability and mental health and peace of mind, to worry about myself and to find to help the people who are dealing with caregivers and help them to find the best agencies, medical physicians, mental health providers to have on deck so that they can navigate through their situations with excellence and empowered. Because that's the thing. When you have community and when you have the right people around you and you have the right friends and you have people that really care about you and you're working, you have a business community that surrounds you that actually cares about your well-being and is on the same trajectory as you and actually cares about the citizens and their neighbors and the families of their employees and their team members and whatever the case may be, their volunteers, etc. When you have people that really care about those people, then you actually can have a thriving city. The reason that our city is having trouble is because there's major disconnects in these areas. And I'm just saying it. Okay. But I also know that there's great businesses out here. There's great healthcare providers. There's great mental health providers. There's great research happening here. There's fantastic biotech and technology that's being created right here in El Paso. And I get excited about that. And those are the spaces that I'm navigating in because I want people to actually enjoy their life experience if they can. And here's the thing, none of these, there's no technology, there's no food protocol, there's none of that that's going to matter if people do not get paid what they are worth and on time. Those things, you can do everything right. Those things are going to stress any family out. They're going to stress any artist out. They're going to stress any small business out. And we need to get better at that. But in the meantime, because you can't win everything. You know what I mean? And I get that. But what I can do, because what I have realized as I have created this platform and I'm talking to people about elevating the voice of healthcare through patient and caregiver empowerment, as soon as I've started saying that to people, just everyday people that I talk to, they're not business owners or anything like that. I mean, I'm just talking to people about, I'm actually in shock and awe about how many people talk to me about their healthcare nightmares, quite frankly. Most people will talk about their nightmares before they talk about. Have had more people telling me the issues that they're having, whether it's with their loved one or whether it's with their physician or whatever, or whether it's something with the healthcare system here. That's what most people are talking about. So I know that I've hit on something that needs a solution. And it's something that I'm very passionate about and that I know I can help with, and that it's a worthy problem for me to solve. Now, I did go on, I have gone on Reddit And so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do one of those one of these days. Actually, you know what? I wonder if I could just pull it up right now because I actually found that to be very interesting. Because I went on Reddit and I asked the question. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This will be fun. This will be fun. Let me see. Let me see. Will it log me right on in? Yeah, I think it is gonna log me right on in. Okay, I think I can share this. Oh, okay, this is great. You guys are gonna love this. Wait, let me see here. Where do I get notifications? Wait. Okay. How do I get my let's see. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out how do you find okay, so I'm on Reddit right now and I'm trying to find how to find like the questions. I think is this it? Let me see. Oh, I think it might be smart here. Okay. I love Reddit because you can go on Reddit and like you go to like if you go to like the different forums, you can ask questions and people will actually answer your questions. So let me see. I'm trying to figure out how I can find where are the posts that I did. How do you find a recent? Oh, maybe this one. Okay. Maybe okay. I didn't plan this, guys. Okay. I didn't plan this, but what I'm trying to find is let's see here. Okay, you know what? I'll have to work on this later because you would have thought that there's somewhere you could go. No, I'm not trying. That's not what I'm trying to do. You would think that there's somewhere you can go to like see where your last conversations were, but I don't know how to do that. So I'll find that later. But anyways, I love Reddit because you can go on Reddit and you can ask Reddit like, hey, you know. So I asked Reddit the other day, and I actually wanted to find this. You know what? Let me see if I can. Let me see if let me ask our boy here. Can you? How do I find? Oh, you know what? I know how I can find it. Actually, I think. Let's see. See, sometimes you don't got to just jump straight to the GPT. You know what I mean? Sometimes you should just wait until. Let's see here. Reddit comments. Let me see here. So okay. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Wait, let me see. No, that's old. That's the old one. Let me see. This post is generally no. That's an old one. That's an old one. Okay. Well, you know what? Oh, here it is. Wait. Okay. I need to. Okay. Comments from. Okay. I'm looking for this on Reddit, guys. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay. You know what? That's not a date for this one. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Okay. I thought this would be kind of fun to do to do something like this. So hold on, let me see. Wait, what? Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna clip this later. Okay, so okay, here we go. Oh, this is great. I wanted to give this a try. So okay, so let me do present, share screen. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so on Reddit, I go, how do you choose a doctor or a caregiver in El Paso, Texas? Okay, so this got 3.1 thousand views. And I said, hey, I'm curious as to how people are finding and choosing the medical professionals they have on their care team for themselves or their loved ones. I usually don't really look until I need one, especially if it's a specialty doctor, which is true for most of us, right? Or my primary care physician orders me care through somebody who they recommend. Is there a better way to go about this to make sure I have doctors and such who actually care about helping me to be well? Curious as to how other borderlanders go about this. So this was 3 months ago. Got about 3,000 views. And someone said, the Google, what kind of doctor are you looking for? And I said, an incredible primary care physician is a great place to start. And they said, Arabeth Penaranda, who I've heard of her, or Maria Elena Gonzalez Soser. Both are amazing. Good luck. I love that, right? And other people say how they choose. Google will have some reviews, so I do look at those. I'm on the discount program through UMC here. They say Dr. Morgan Van Amade is her PCP, and she really likes her. Or I don't know if that's a she or he, to be honest. So yeah, so those were some of the responses that I got. So I just thought I would share those with you. So, these are ways in which people go about finding their people, their care. So I just like to just check in and see, Reddit's a great resource for stuff like that. Okay. Now let's see. I know there was another one that I asked, but no, we've talked about everything over there. But yeah, I was thinking that I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do more Reddit, kind of do some Reddit conversations, some El Paso Reddit conversations, and talk about some of those. So we'll stop sharing. But anyways, okay. Well, these are things I care about. I care about health and well-being. Anybody that's known me for a very long time knows this. Knows that spiritual and mental health, emotional intelligence, and spiritual well-being has always been about who I am. But then I've become to realize that if you're not taking care of yourself physically, that's going to affect your spirit. That's going to affect your mental. And as someone who has been in recovery, who is in recovery, has been in recovery for years now, one day at a time. And again, that looks different for everyone, but place now where I actually enjoy being of sound mind, body and spirit, soul and money. And I don't like drinking. I don't like, I don't want to harm my body. Even if I eat too many foods that are even if I eat too much, if I consume too much of anything that's negative, let me just go ahead and just say that. So I'm talking about doom scrolling. I'm talking about being around people that ain't really about me. All that is toxic. Drugs and alcohol, like that. But there comes a point where you realize that, like, if you're using drugs and alcohol, that's a symptom of a deeper problem. And what I came to realize, what I found by coming back here to El Paso in 2019, I found that my disconnection with my family, I needed my mama. I love her so much. She's the best, and I will do anything for her. I love her so much. She's the sweetest. She is just a blessing and a gift. And I realized for me and my soul's growth and my liberation, soul's liberation, that I needed to really, really heal things with my family and with my childhood and my teenagehood, and that does come back to El Paso because this is where I was born and raised. And I needed to make amends and atone and reconcile my relationship with El Paso, because I love El Paso. And I really didn't start thriving into who I was until I left El Paso. Because as a Black woman, or young Black girl, and at a predominantly Hispanic school, it was hard. And it wasn't hard because anybody was really outright rude to me. Of course, there were the microaggressions, the little jokes here and there. But I didn't really think it affected me, but it did. You know what I mean? Like those little things did. Just those little things of knowing that I'm like, hey, I'm dope. Like, why do I feel like? And I always it's not like I wasn't accepted or anything. It's just that I never felt enough. And that's a deeper, again, that's a deep issue. That was nobody's but mine to resolve. And I'm saying all this because I'm really just having a real talk conversation with whoever has popped in and out, whoever decides to watch this, because and these are important conversations to have on LinkedIn too, because you may look at me and go, she's no expert, she's no professional, but guess what? First of all, I am. Thank you very much. I'm an expert of me. No, I'm an expert of communications and of bridging cultures. I could drink a 40 on the stoop in the hood, and I could drink champagne at the White House. You don't think that's a valuable asset to have in this world today when you're building a business and a culture? That's fine. Your loss. It's very important, especially now, to be able to have the ability to bring people of all backgrounds, cultures, intelligences, genders, genres, etc. together. When you can do that, that's actually an incredible superpower of leadership. And I do possess that, number one. And number two, I'm a representative of your employees. So if we're on LinkedIn, the concerns that I have are concerns that your employees are having. So this is an important conversation for you to listen to. These are things that your employees are caring about. Your employees are worried about their family members. Your employees are worried about their kids who may be on drugs, or their aging parents, or vice versa. They may have kids that are sick. They may have parents that are on drugs. I haven't had kids, but I've had both of the other. And it's very stressful. It's very stressful. So when you can do the best you can, like if you're a leader, it is your responsibility to take care of your employees, your team. It just is. And the companies that get that are the ones that are going to thrive. Beyond just the norm of today. If your business is stagnating, it's because you're not caring to make sure that everyone's growing and thriving in your organization, in your business, whether it's your employees or your patients or your customers. And even me, that's why it's taken me so long to really get clear on what I'm doing, because I'm like, if all it's about is the optics, I'm never going to win that game. Period. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that, because God couldn't make me perfect. I mean, close enough, but I care on a deep level about people. I always have, and I've always known that I want to use my talents and gifts and heart for good in the world and my platform. And that's what I'm going to be using it for. So I haven't done one of these in a long time. Just get on here and kind of yap. So this has been great. Although I do miss my friend Erika, but we're going to get together in the next couple of weeks. And I am going to do everything in my power to get with people who are working, with people in the aging community. I just thought of this. See, that's why. See, I'm going to create a community that people who want to do a great job taking care of themselves and their families as a caregiver in whatever capacity, I'm going to create a community where they can go, where you can go to be empowered. And if you're a leader at a business, if you're a founder or a C-suite executive, or you're an employee and you're taking care of someone in your family, you should have a place to go to where you don't feel alone, because it's very hard. And when everybody else seems like they're thriving and they have their whole families on Christmas and on all these, and that you're having to take care of your family, it can be depressing. But I want you to know it does not have to be. And I'm going to end with this. It does not have to be. And it shouldn't be. Death is a very real part of life. And we need not avoid it. Injury, disease, sickness, these things should not be something that hit us without us being prepared. Can we be surprised? Sure. But we should also be prepared. Do I have all my ducks in a row yet? No, I'm working on it. I'm working on my will and testament. I do have a will and testament offered to me by Legal Shield. I just remembered, and I'm a Legal Shield member. Thank you, Rosalind Thornton, the Legal Shield and networking queen of El Paso. She hooked me up, and I'm going to get my will and testament done, because God forbid something happened to me. Every day I pray to lay my burdens down. I don't want to have to be fighting for my life. I don't want my family to have to make those decisions for me. I'm looking over my mother's papers. It's scary, but it's just responsible. Again, I have life insurance. And I have no kids, but I don't want that to be put on my family, And I love learning about new technology, just any, health practices. I just had Dr. Praja Vidyarthi on my on the channel, the 5-Star Conversations channel. We talked about the science of darkness. Free game right there on how to be healthy. And I'm telling you, any issue you're having, if you just shut up and sit still and be quiet and pause, to me, that was enough. That was enough darkness, unplugging. We all know this, but there's deep science behind it. And so you should go watch that episode. I also just had a conversation with Dr. Burgos about palliative care and what that means, and how that's not the same as hospice care, and how your palliative care doctor will be somebody that can actually coordinate with all your other doctors, give you a care team. That could really be helpful if you're taking care of an aging parent or a spouse that has come across anything. And you want somebody to help you that can help you oversee everything and help you make sense of the information. Dr. Burgos. There's people that are coming up with healthcare apps, health tech, that could be helpful. So my point is that you don't have to go it alone, but you do have to be intentional. But the more that you take care of yourself and that you take care of your family, and it's not always easy. Doesn't mean you're going to always get along with your family, see eye to eye. A lot of people have aging parents and they've got siblings that have very different ideas of what their parents need. That can be difficult. I get that. But if you take care of yourself and you come to peace with yourself, then you can move through those things a lot easier. But if you just ignore it and you just want to white knuckle it, and if you just try to, or if you just isolate, it's not a good plan. You're actually going to make yourself more sick. You'll make yourself just as sick, if not more sick, than the person that you're trying to care for. And that doesn't work. But I want you to know there's so much support out here. No matter what it is that you need, there are support groups that are out here. There are, if you, most people, if you have insurance, are using all your preventive benefits. I think it's very important for employers to be really encouraging their team to utilize their preventive health care. And especially if you work in healthcare, you should have a therapist. That should be a non-negotiable. I mean, you can't force your, employees to do anything, of course, but I'm talking to you directly, medical professional or healthcare practitioner. Like, you should have a therapist. That should be a non-negotiable, because you're taking care of people all day long. You should have a therapist. Period. But if you're an American and you have insurance, you should have a therapist. Full stop. Full stop. If you have insurance, you should have a checkup every year, every single year. You should be maxing out your preventive benefits. And listen, I'm saying that and preaching to the choir because it's time for me to get my stuff done too. So I'm going to be going, I believe I'm going to be seeing my girl over there, Primary Clinic. She's a League of Business doctor. So I'm going to see if she could be my primary care physician or her agents or her practice, Dr. Karina Mendoza, because she's awesome. And, and I want, and I trust her because she is with the League of Business. So that's about that. So as long as my health insurance works with her, then I would like her to be my primary care physician, my new one, because the last place that I went was not a great experience. My last primary care physician was not a great experience. There was communication breakdown a lot there. So, so anyways, just know that if you do not have good experiences with your healthcare, that you can, if you have health insurance, you can change. And it's just tiring. And that's the thing. It's so exhausting to try to find good care. So that's what 5-Star Conversations is seeking to solve. That's what I would like to solve. I want people to be able to connect with caregivers that they really feel are in alignment with who they are. Just because just because one caregiver does, or just because one doctor doesn't work for, or physician doesn't work for me, doesn't mean that they are not perfect for you. Everybody is different, and also, like, I'm realistic. Just because there's one bad experience doesn't mean that, everyone also makes mistakes. But you have to feel like, you should feel, and there is that capacity. We have caregivers, home health care agencies. I'm working with one right now, have Heavenly Healing Home Health. Love them. Oh my God, they are like chef's kiss of home health care skilled nursing agency. Dude, they really care. They are so on point with their processes and systems. Like, that to me means so much, because you're still always only as good as your systems. And I'm even working on that personally. You know what I mean? But they are incredible. I mean, 5-star service through and through. There's enough doctors, and that we actually per capita our ratio of doctors, physicians to the I'm getting tired. It's time because my brain's not processing as fast. The ratio of patient to population here is very low. Like, we are very under physicianed. We're low on medical doctors here. So there's that. So to me, I'm just like, we all should just really be caring about really being as healthy as we can in an organic, natural way. And from then, so that we don't have to go to the doctor that much, but we should definitely be taking our preventive healthcare and maximizing our benefits. That being said, I'm going to, my healthcare. I'm saying that, and I need to maximize my benefits. I've been focusing on just being healthy as I can be, which is fantastic. I mean, it's a great start. But this year, I mean, I do take advantage of my preventive coverage every year. It's just I haven't this year yet, but it's time for me to do that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to see, and then I'm going to see if I can get one of my. I'm going to see if I can get my healthcare. I'm going to call the customer service and talk to someone, and I'm going to see, and I'll go through my the website. You know what I mean? I'm going to go on the website, and I don't know what you guys are talking about, but this mic will pick it up. Just FYI, I can't hear you, but they probably can. Anyways, I'm gonna, but I'm gonna call because I switched my health insurance because the health insurance I had before was not the best plan for me, so I switched. And so I'm going to call and see what all the benefits are. And then I'll share that with you all. I'm going to do that as like a fun little episode, just so that you guys can see like how much you can get out of your healthcare plan that you might not be getting. And maybe I'll inspire some of you guys to use it more. But anyways, well, that's it. I hope that you have an incredible rest of your week. I hope that this was an inspiring conversation. Thank you for being here. Thank you to those of you who popped in and out on, I don't know what platform that you popped in and out from, but I'm grateful that you did. And this is just a little bit more of who I am. If you don't care about this solo conversation, then make sure if you're on LinkedIn, go to my profile and you'll see several past conversations that I've live streamed. If you want to see some of the local healthcare practitioners, health and wellness experts, and kind of more on location, then make sure you go to 5-Star Conversations in the Sun City on the YouTube channel. And for the Facebook channel, if you want to join the Facebook Live over there, or if you're in El Paso Borderland, I have a group called El Paso Borderland Health on Facebook, and I would love for you to join in there. And I'm just getting people in there. I don't exactly know what I'm going to do. I just share things. I share kind of deeper, more specialized healthcare related conversations in that group. I'm not as active there, but that's something that I just want it to be a place where the healthcare providers that are on Facebook can come in there and chat if they want. Okay. So anyways, thank you so much for your time. I'm like, I really know how to talk because I've been out here for 58 minutes talking to myself. And but I'm really passionate. I'm passionate about helping people. I'm passionate about being healthy. I'm passionate about providing care. I'm passionate about loving your family. I'm passionate about you doing your generational healing. I'm passionate about you being in recovery. And I'm passionate about life. And I'm happy to be here. And I hope that you can say the same too. Make sure you follow me here on LinkedIn or on YouTube or on Facebook, wherever you may be catching me. I would love for you to give me a follow. Put a comment if there's any health conversations that you want to have. If there's any healthcare conversations that you want to have specific to the borderland or anywhere, drop those questions in the comments. Like, let's start really talking. That's the whole point. The whole point is for us to start talking to each other so that we can actually solve problems. Peace, blessings, and we'll see you on the flip side. Bye.